Hello everybody and welcome back to Noel's Big Family Life. If you are new, I am Noel and we are a large family of 9. We also have a grandson. And today we are going to do some Great Depression recipes. And why I picked the Great Depression is because there is always a time in your life, or at least majority of us, that is going to have a time where we need to tighten our belts. We can't afford things. We're on a tight budget. I know we are now on a tight budget, but in the time that my husband and I have been together, he has been laid off twice. There's been we are a one-income family. So many things and times that we have had to really just tighten our budget. And who else better to learn than from the people during the Great Depression? What I have gathered from them so far in the cookbooks that I've been looking at and the articles and stuff I've been reading are they did with as few ingredients as possible. Also, staples that they used were hot dogs and potatoes. Those were main staples because they were affordable. So that is kind of what we're going to look at today. And I'm going to make you 3 recipes today from the Great Depression. If you love the Great Depression, there is a channel out there, Clara. If you just search Clara, I can't remember the exact name. Oh, precious, precious lady who's passed away, but she did fabulous Great Depression cooking. Also, if you cannot afford to buy cookbooks, there is a wealth of recipes if you look up Great Depression on Pinterest of Great Depression recipes. Really, any of the cooking from scratch I have found to be very beneficial to cutting back money. And that's really what we do here on this channel, is basically everything is from scratch, as much as possible anyway. So if Great Depression isn't for you and you don't like these recipes, I'm sure there are many more that you will like. So hopefully you decide to stick around and subscribe if you are new and watching for the first time. And let's just get going. Make sure you guys give this a thumbs up if you want to see more cooking shows like this, cooking videos, and let's jump into our 3 recipes from the Great Depression. So these are the cookbooks that I used. I picked 1 recipe from each of these books, and then I also found a recipe on Pinterest. We are going to start off with making the muffins. For this you need 3 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and you're going to sift that together. Then we're going to beat our egg and add that to 1.5 cups of milk. Slowly add that mixture to our dry mixture. This is melted lard. It is different than Crisco or butter, but you could use either one, I would think. 4 tablespoons are added now. And just get in and use your hand when you can no longer stir it with a spoon. Then take your greased muffin pans and divide it into the muffin pans. I used the remaining lard to grease my pans so that I was not wasting anything. Then it says to bake these in a moderate oven, so I put them in at 350 degrees until brown on top. It also says to serve this with jam and butter, so I am making our jam with just some sugar and strawberries. Cook it until it's nice and thick over a medium heat. And now it's time to move into our pie crust for our chocolate pie. 2 cups of flour, and then a sprinkle of salt, some shortening or lard, which I am using, and then ice water. Cut in the lard or shortening into the butter and salt with your pastry blender, and then you're going to add your ice water until it all comes together. I do not measure any of this. Then we're going to roll it out and bake it at 350 degrees until it is nice and golden and done. Then set that aside to cool so we can fill it with our filling. And now onto the filling. I am adding 1 cup of sugar, a half a cup of cocoa powder, unsweetened, a half a cup of flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Stir that all together, and then we're going to add 3 beaten egg yolks. And then slowly we're going to add 2 cups of milk and move this over to cook on a medium to high heat. I would keep it though more at medium. You want to whisk constantly until it starts to thicken just a little, and then remove it from the heat and stir very vigorously. Add your vanilla, a half a teaspoon, and then continue to whisk it together until there are no lumps at all. Pour it into your pre-baked shell and put it in the fridge to set up. And now for the poor man's meal. You're going to start with heating a little bit of vegetable oil in a pan, about 4 tablespoons. And then you're going to add some chopped potato. Mine are already cooked. They were leftovers, but you could definitely use uncooked potatoes as well. It will just take a little longer to cook. You're just trying to brown them on the sides. Once those are nice and browned, add 1 sliced onion. And then I just stirred it around and covered it so that the onion would get soft, stirring occasionally. Once the onion was soft, I added in some chopped hot dog and again stirred it and covered it to let that cook through. And then once all that's cooked through, you're just going to add a little bit of tomato sauce, stir that around, remove it from the heat, and serve. So here they are, the 3 recipes. These definitely turned out more like a biscuit than a muffin, but that's what they were called in the recipe book, muffin. And it said to serve it with some butter and jam, so we made our own jam. And then our chocolate pie, and it said to serve it with either whipped cream, which we did, or to make a meringue to put on top of the leftover egg whites. And then the poor man's meal. I have to say, I think this is pretty dang tasty. So hopefully you guys will give all of these wonderful recipes a try. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you decide to stick around and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the little bell, because that will let you know every time that we post a new video. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.